What a great show we have here on WowBiz in Nebraska. We've been doing this for 8 years, and every single show builds on the previous show, and there's this sense that, there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to share. So we're so excited to have you with us. Now, one of the most common things, we're going to go through this entire portion of our show back here at the end. People are under the premise or the assumption that there's really only one or two ways to sell our product. We work hard at it. We think we're really good. People tell us we're good at what we do. We hang it up right here, or we have somebody over there call people about it, depending on what it is. And that's it. That's pretty much it. We'd like you to buy our product, and, we think it's really great. I run into this basic attitude every day, every time I'm speaking to people around the entire community here in Omaha and in Nebraska as well. It's the same thing. It's like, what else can I do? So I'm going to show you right now a graphic that has 16 colorful blocks. A little difficult to see. This is I've been showing this around for many years, but I'm going to hold it up right now, and you'll see 16 blocks, of course, with different type on each one of them. These are labels, real simple labels, to describe your positioning and your strategy. It's nothing less than that. Your strategy. How do we sell more of these, dear? Right? Hey, Mr. Sales Manager, how do we sell? Utilizing some of these words here, these blocks, I don't know what we do. Can we work with these? And here we go, right? So I'm going to go through them one by one, and we'll throw up the graphic or the chart periodically as we go through them. But there's a lot more ways to create value, create a profit, and get your product sold to a broader realm or a broader segment of people. So here we go. The very first person, you know about this, the very first person or type of company is an aggregator. All right, this is an interesting strategy. This is when you pull together a product over here that is complementary with a product over here, or you can flip it around and talk about aggregating customer segments. These people over here, these happen to be women, over 50, and our product is great for them, but we can easily sell them maybe another product, kind of an add-on thing. So we aggregate the product, create more value, sell more money, sell more of whatever it is. And so that's aggregating, and that's a very successful strategy in some industries. Let's go on to the next one. Category leader. Now this is an important idea. If you like branding, right, you need to be a category leader. You can't kind of hustle around in the back and jump up and then be gone and so on. You want to be known as a leader in the industry. You have the newest stuff. You have the highest quality. You attract people and pay them a lot of money, maybe more money than average. And so that's how, and you walk around with the assumption you behave like a leader. We're the leader in this and that industry, and we're not going to be pushed around or dictated to. We know our product. We know our customer. We're doing some interesting things with this guy and that guy. So we know what we're doing. We're the category leaders, and we articulate that position all the time in our brochures and so on. Okay, well, and of course, they're going to charge a slightly larger margin. They're going to be more profitable. A category leader does. Then the next one is a consolidator. Now this is a person that spends a lot of work, a lot of time hustling around, consolidating all these fragments. This is how the franchise industry has worked. There are many individual family-owned companies, and you see them all over the place. Maybe they do well, maybe they don't do so well. Maybe their costs are just too high, right? So a franchisor sends out a representative and says, hey, let's put our company right up here on your business or near it, whatever, and we'll lower the cost of your products that you have to sell. You make a greater profit, and we might even be able to hook you into this situation over here or a company over there that has complementary products with what you sell. What do you think? Right? That's a consolidator. Takes a lot of creativity and hustle to get it done, but a lot of franchisees go, okay, I'm open for that. All right, let's go on to the next one. A customizer. Now, this is the opposite. Customizer is like, and by the way, this is probably the single most dominant trend in business today. Personalization, customization. Whenever you go to a convenience store and they say, do you have our point system? Do you have perks? Yeah. Okay, well, it looks like I'm adding up here and you've got some 1,100, You can get some free coffee or you can get a 10% reduction on your gas because of who you are and the little card that you have that identifies you and so on. Well, that's a big idea and it's getting a lot bigger. And just about every company is going, maybe every single thing we do should be personalized somehow. I don't know if it's a card or not, but certainly people identify with something that just feels perfect for them. It's exciting. All right, now, a disintermediator. This is a person or a company that comes into an industry that's stagnant and cuts it up, or says, well, the customer's clear over there. And they're hard to get to, and then you got to charge extra and so on. So let's find a way to disintermediate. In other words, cut the distance between our company and that company over there or those people over there, right? We got to somehow accelerate it, and so it's not so difficult to sell. You got to break it down, break the system down, maybe find some distributors in that area that can handle it instead. So a disintermediary, that's very interesting. Now, we also have an experience provider. This may be the big idea. It's a little bit like the customization thing, but it has an emotional component. It definitely has to be emotional. And of course, we know all brands are supposed to be emotional or evoke this sense of, I really like this, and this is really cool, and I like coming here, and I'll buy a couple of these because this is really a cool place, Yeah, that's an experience provider, maybe a photographer or somebody that sets up an audio production team, and you bring somebody in and they are being given an experience and it will last with them, their whole lives. All right, then we go further here. How about this? How about a fast follower? Now, I got to tell you, probably, oh my goodness, 40 to 50% of all businesses, especially smaller ones, they would consider themselves a fast follower. In other words, they're looking for the trends, they're looking who's doing what, who's succeeding, we're not doing that well. I tell you what, we'll just do what they do and change it a little bit, and we'll be like them and we'll probably do just about as well as they're doing right now. Yeah, okay, that's a fast follower. All right, then we have an innovator, right? This is a very important concept because, and especially here in Nebraska, I got to tell you, but it's all over the place, this happens everywhere, is that the product starts to become priced under. People say, your competitor gave me a better price, that kind of thing. So we got to come up with a new product that we can make a good margin on, And so they look around and they study. They might bring in somebody from outside to do some focus groups or do some interviews. What would you think? What would you like this? What do these guys do? You buy anything similar to that? Oh, yeah. Tell me, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to go back and tell them we're going to innovate. I love this phrase, innovate to be great. I love that phrase, and it's actually very applicable. So anyway, oftentimes if you're a little bit lucky and you work hard at it, you can be kind of the industry leader if you know how to innovate. I'm going to keep on going rapidly. Platform provider is somebody that knows how to operate on the ground. They have people going door to door, but they also work in the digital realm, and they're great in trade shows. So now they have these three platforms. They're everywhere. They're kind of swarming around the marketplace, and obviously they're covering the market almost like a big soft blanket. Takes a lot of work, but very helpful. Now there's a premium player. Now, I mentioned to you a little bit earlier, an industry leader. A premium player is similar. They're less interested in how they're perceived, more interested in their margins, right? They want to, everybody has a nice watch, they keep track of their phone and all that. then these guys will come out and say, look at this. This is your grandfather's gold-plated watch that would never be seen anywhere else, and only you get this. It's worth $7,000. You know, that kind of thing. That's a premium provider. Regulation Navigator. You know, there's a lot of regulations and restrictions out there, so these are people that know how to work their way through that. They're usually connected with the Fed, or they know people in the state, and so they want to make sure that they can move forward quickly and not get hung up with regulations. Then there's a reputation player. Now that's kind of similar to the category leader, but these are people that have been around a long time, and their attitude is, we don't have to work too hard. We have a reputation. We're known for this. We do this. We're quite good at it. Everybody says so. We have great reviews on the internet, and our reputation, you know, precedes us. Then we have four more. The risk absorber. This is a guy that, or gal that reaches out and says, I see a business over there. I'm going to go after that, and it may or may not, you know, work out, but I'm going to have another business emerging over here. So if it doesn't work out, then I'll have another business over here that I can focus on. But the two of them, if they actually work together, could make me a fortune in, you know, a year or two. It's just incredible. So they're thinking that way. Most businesses are not. They just want one business to succeed, but that kind of a business, entrepreneurial, very creative, knows how to combine things and generate profits nobody else would even think of. A solutions provider. We're wrapping up here. This is very common. This is especially in a B2B situation, but also B2C. So in other words, we're not going to do anything till we understand the problem you have, Mr. Customer. And, you know, frankly, most salespeople and businesses, they don't really fully understand what the customer really wants, how he or she is struggling, and how they could solve that problem. It's a very interesting dance, I'll call it, creating that sale and then trying to see if how they work with it, how they absorb it, how they go one step at a time. Very important that they can provide a solution. Then there's a value player, which is kind of price-oriented. We're in the fourth value revolution right here. It began in the late 80s with Taco Bell, and here we are in 2026. Everybody's cutting prices. They're trying to get the consumers to come in, of course. And then finally, suggest a pure tone. That, in other words, is a different graphic altogether, a wholly different way to, you know, basically provide your services or product and surround them with some kind of an unusual image or color, so people feel like it's like listening to the late Andy Warhol somehow do an incredible painting of your rather mundane product. But it's dressed up and people feel like there's something really special about this product and this brand. And let's go ahead and experiment with that. I just love how it's packaged. That's really what we're talking about here, is packaging. And that can be all you need if you think it all the way through and you have the right artist on your team. All right, well, there you go. 16 different ways to create strategy around your product or service. You should be going, wow, I got all that. Fantastic. Thank you, Lynn Hinderaker. Thank you, WowBiz Nebraska. We appreciate you watching. This has been a particularly special show. Don't forget the first part of it with the brand for Omaha, Nebraska. I will see you very soon. Take care.